Welcome back to Mega Man Zero 2. So, before we begin the actual stage for today, I'm going to go back to Phoenix Magnion's stage to collect all these Cyber Elves that I did not get before. So this is what it looks like when you have to go back to a previous area. So, I don't technically have everything I need to do this flawlessly, but I can do good enough to get all the Cyber Elves. And if you're wondering why I didn't stable this onto the previous episode, it's because I didn't like the previous stage and I didn't want to have to do anything before it because it was going to run long enough. And like the stage says, or the operator says, rather, you do have to exit out of here from the menu. You can't get to the end and auto-teleport back, because there are 4 different potential boss rooms, and none of them actually end the stage, so yeah. Also, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but the operators' names are Jaune and Rouge, which are yellow and red respectively. You can probably guess which is which. Anyway though, since we're doing a little bit of, miscellany today, and the stage itself is gonna be pretty short, I figured I'd talk about, a thought I had. That, you know, I can't really make a full-on topic, because I don't think I really have enough experience. But I had the thought, one point recently, that, Mega Man Zero does make me think of a samurai movie. You know, I feel like genre-wise, it kind of fits into that mold. But then I realized, wait a minute, I've never really watched a samurai movie. Also, yeah, we gotta play Space Invaders real quick, except, if you miss any of these, you gotta leave and come back. You gotta go up and down to respawn these. And yeah, it gets more annoying, but eventually, we'll kill the last one, and then the Cyber Elf will appear. And, you know, if you kill it, like, late enough, you're able to maybe get to it from jumping off of here, but, you're supposed to do a charged ice shot on these buckets, so that you can safely jump off of them. I don't have the ice chip yet, so I can't do that. Anyway, we got Dabble. Right, so, like I was saying, the closest I think I ever have been is probably Samurai Jack. Maybe I'm missing something or other that'd be closer, but like, Samurai Jack is, you know, based on the genre, you know, you can definitely tell there's inspiration from it, but, you know, I still feel like it's a little too secondhand for me to want to actually make a statement such as, yeah, this is samurai genre. And, you know, I know I'm on YouTube, and sweeping declarative statements are, you know, kind of just the norm, but I'd like to think I'm at least a little better than that. Not by much, but a little. But yeah, no, all that is to say, because of that thought, I did have my friends, watch Yojimbo with me last night, and, you know, gotta say, that Kurosawa guy, don't know if you've heard of him. Good filmmaker, knows what he's doing. But yeah, no, definitely, of just like a quick check of potential watches, I definitely felt like that would be a pretty good way to introduce myself to the genre and still have something to talk about here. Obviously, this is not Fistful of Mega Man, so it's not exactly Yojimbo or anything, but I definitely feel like there are some similarities. I think kind of the platonic ideal, the platonic idea that people have of samurai movies is just, cool guy blows into town, maybe he's got some sort of weird companion, but otherwise probably alone. Here's a fire golem. They're weak to electricity, of course, but I'm just gonna fight him normally because I don't really have a time limit to worry about anyway. And he dies quickly enough as it is. But yeah, cool guy blows into town, helps some people out, goes on in the end. You know, he's there, he does his thing, and then he leaves with the win just as quickly as he came in, you know, that sort of thing. But, you know, I feel like, in terms of ways to tie this into Yojimbo, I do think the protagonists are definitely kind of similar. This being a video game, of course, I feel like Zero is more about action, necessarily, than a samurai movie would be. Because, you know, it's a Mega Man game, you gotta go through the stages, you gotta platform, you gotta stab enemies. But I think just a very general character overview. Zero and the Ronin are very kind of prickly. I'd say quiet, but I think that's more Zero's thing than the Ronin's. But yeah, like, a disposition that you would not expect to care, but they do care deeply about protecting the good and punishing evil. I think that's definitely the big thing that they have in common overall. I'll also say that, it is kind of tough to replicate the style of the more grounded, quick fights, but, you know, Mega Man Zero kinda comes close while still being a Mega Man game. Unless you're tanking things, you know, with Cyber Elf upgrades, fights usually end pretty quickly one way or the other. So I feel like the spirit is similar, not exactly the same, but as close as you're gonna get from a game that still wants to have fights that don't take 3 seconds. Also, yeah, remember the train stage from the first game? Well, this one's got pass-throughs. You get a bunch of warning signs. You get 1, 2, 3, and then an electro trap that will hit you if you're on top of the train. Well, you can jump over it, of course, but you can avoid it entirely by just being underneath. And yeah, it does affect the enemies as well, that's cool. I was also wrong last time. The previous stage I played did not actually have Pantheons in it. Even if I hadn't done Phoenix Magni on stage, we wouldn't have run into any enemies that would be erased by that stage. This one does, and honestly, it makes this whole thing feel a little empty. Cause now we just got the annoying roly dudes, and these annoying enemies that, either have a shell that protects them from bullets, or when you destroy that, they hop away and fire some bullets. But also, they're kinda tiny, so like, it's hard to hit them unless you get close to them. But they're very erratic, and they can just jump into you. It's kind of a pain to work with. I don't like either of the enemy types we've seen in this stage. And we don't even have the easy cannon fodder. Alright, so right here, unfortunately this is not going to get me enough jump attacks to get me a certain form, which is too bad, because it would be the form I would want, except despite the fact that it... Okay, so... the form I'm talking about is active form. It is basically just your ability to do rolling slashes like the first game, so you jump and then you just get this really good circle attack. 2 power, 2 defend, 4 speed. For some reason though, it's based on killing 20 enemies with dash attacks, not jump attacks. I don't know why, because it's based on doing jump attacks when you actually get it. Ugh, whatever. You'll know you've won when the music stops playing. Ugh. Now I'm just annoyed. But yeah, like I was saying before, I guess ideally fights in this game are pretty short, unless you mess up without dying. Oh, and keep going here. Yep, it's boss time. Hey! I've been on this other train the entire time. Stop it. Yeah, don't you know Harpooia owns the railways? But yeah, we can't have a fight that's a single slash or anything. We're still fighting one guy who has to be a boss in a video game, but... you know, this isn't gonna take too long. Would be even shorter if I had the ice chip, but what are you gonna do? So yeah, Panther here is... definitely one of the more annoying bosses. He's very quick to move. The attacks themselves actually aren't too bad. They're usually pretty clear. Like, that one is very obvious. He's going to shock the train he's currently on. That one works the same every time. It's the same shock type. That one's always similar. Like, they're all pretty easy to dodge except for his rider kick. It's just the fact that he moves very quickly, and he works pretty well with the battlefield to just, yeah, be annoying. Like, this thing's constantly moving, and it's at differing heights, so you have to pay attention to that. But, in general, like, you also kind of want to be twitchy to react to his attacks. I don't think you have to be that twitchy for most of them. I think you wind up dodging into his stuff for the most part. Oh god, yeah, if you react too quickly. Did manage to get a real cool move off on him, though. That must have made my heart skip a beat. I mean, it works. And frankly, this is definitely a boss I want to cut in half when I kill him, because he sucks and I don't like him. But, I would not, unless it was a complete accident, try to attack him during his rider kick. Usually it's just better to steer clear of that. Anyway, though, yeah, so... I will continue looking into the genre, you know, I want to be well-read, or well-watched in this case, I guess. Oh, Panter, not Panther. It's Panter Flauclaws. Oh, and we get a new form, as I thought. So, yes, the one we actually get is the Rise form, which I guess I'm gonna be using for the rest of the game. This one is the you defeat 10 enemies with air attacks. 2 power, 2 defend, 3 speed. So basically, it's just you change the last attack of your 3 combo. So, it's, I think, a little more damage. And it's not too different and doesn't really have any drawbacks from regular form, so... Yeah, we're gonna go with this, and I'm not really gonna unlock much else, so... Rise form it is, I guess. I really would have preferred active, but that's based on dash attacks. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to be more well-read in the genre, so I can make statements like that. We'll see in the future if that statement is correct. I feel even with my limited knowledge, I made a pretty good guess, but, you know, at some point I'm gonna have to, you know, watch other things like Rashomon, which I kinda wanna watch anyway because I'm a Sonic Adventure 1 fan, and I want that Simpsons joke to land even better than it already does. And yeah, maybe at some point I should also just clear an afternoon so I can watch 7 Samurai. Either way, though, that's it for Mega Man Zero 2 today. Next time, one mission left before El Piso's little operation.